Fans are becoming more concerned regarding Disney's new Snow White remake, mostly primarily to statements made by the lead actress to the media. We could perhaps lose a Disney princess in the enchanted realm of Hollywood and social media drama that plays out like a novel. Yes, we are talking about the Battle of Snow Whites. It may sound so unserious, but you have to wait to see how far this conflict has gone. For those who are not familiar with the Princess Cinematic Battle universe, let's get straight to the tea. Disney team informed us that they were working on a remake of the classic Snow White, but they were unaware of the fact that the announcement would lead to the most iconic Snow White battle of the decade. Two amazing women are at the center of this clash. This classic story, which moves from one extreme of conservatism to the other of Hollywood glitz and trends, is told from the perspectives of Brett Cooper and Rachel Zegler. How did this fight even begin? Cooper Brett returning to the comments section. Welcome. I am none other than Brett Cooper, the Daily Wire's Queen Diva. Though Brett Cooper is not as well known on conservative social media platforms as Ben Shapiro, Brett is really quite talented and likable. Brett is no stranger to the limelight, having earned multiple degrees and enjoyed great success during her time as a child actor. However, unlike most child stars, she took a more interesting turn when she rose to prominence as the Daily Wire's diva, a powerful figure in conservative media. Don't be fooled. Brett is more than just a talking head. As the new girl at the conservative Daily Wire, she found herself in the center of a cultural shift. The boring and lifeless channel saw a makeover when Brett entered the limelight. Her popularity shot through the roof, making her the Gen Z star of the conservative angle. You may recall this much later in the video, but Brett became the it girl, and it was fascinating to watch her do her thing on the Daily Wire while remaining stylishly under the radar. However, Brett didn't really step into the ring and show fans what she was made of until Hollywood darling Rachel Zegler decided to challenge the conventions of the beloved Snow White fairy tale. The clash that ensued was nothing short of a modern-day showdown between tradition and modernization. In a series of contentious interviews, Rachel Zegler, a 22-year-old Hollywood phenomenon, expressed her desire to rewrite the story rather than just assume the role of Snow White in the eagerly awaited live-action remake. The prince in the first Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was publicly condemned by Rachel Zegler, who called him a creepy stalker. And fans were not having any fun with her at all. The turning point, as it were, came when Rachel Zegler decided to give Snow White a modern twist by eliminating the stereotypical male love interest. She boldly stated that the new Snow White wouldn't be dreaming of pure love or being saved by the prince in a widely shared interview clip. The fairy tale did not have a happy ending in Rachel Zegler's version. Rachel felt that the character will choose her own path, freeing herself from the chains of an antiquated love tale. I just mean that it's no longer 1937, she explained. Even though this was the worst result of Rachel Zegler's words, fans could not believe what they were hearing. The Disney version has already drawn criticism for changes such as substituting a Latina figure for a Snow White with white appearance and changing the dwarf's role. The situation actually became so bad that the internet community, accusing the media behemoth of deviating too much from the core of the original fairy tale, called for a Disney is over celebration. However, in the presence of a storm, there always exists a queen prepared to withstand it. And Brett Cooper, who was already well-liked by the conservative audience, showed no qualms about taking on combat. Brett responded angrily on social media, defending the traditional story and emphasizing how much Rachel's interpretation altered popular culture. In direct reaction to Rachel's assertion that all women are weary of the concept of love and no longer wish to create a life with men, Brett maintained that love and a woman's ability to lead can coexist. Brett's response struck a chord, not only with her conservative base, but also with supporters of the campaign, who rallied behind her not only for defending a beloved fairy tale, but also for opposing a narrative that attempted to remove love from the storyline in a strange way. Brett even came to represent reason in an internet that was undergoing a dramatic and perhaps overly woke shift. As with the intensity of the clash building, the conservative Daily Wire decided to take a risk and unveiled their own live-action Snow White, featuring none other than Brett Cooper as the princess. Whether Disney struggled to have its contentious film released on time, Brett's rendition of Snow White managed to preserve the spirit of the original fairy tale. Cooper Brett the Daily Wire Snow White appears poised to pose a significant threat to Disney. And this host couldn't be more accurate. Disney, a media behemoth, faces financial consequences in addition to a delay in its Snow White remake. A less-than-ideal picture was created by the production costs, the response, and the demands of supporters to boycott Disney. Excuse the wordplay. But the corporation would need to earn over $340 million for the film before breaking even. And with the internet community divided, reaching that target looks like an impossible feat. In addition to impacting Disney's anticipated sales, the controversy over Rachel Zegler's remarks and the ensuing clash over Snow White's story also had an impact on her career. Disney fans and critics alike unleashed a fierce backlash against the once-loved rising Hollywood darling, accusing her of gaslighting them and painting a picture of a star in distress with her harsh statements in interviews. Experts in branding were also required to comment on the matter, cautioning that Rachel's remarks might have a big effect on Disney's Snow White ticket sales. It was confirmed that the argument between Rachel Zegler and Brett Cooper transcended Hollywood and became a representation of a broader cultural change. The internet came together to support Brett Cooper, the unexpected hero who stood strong for timeless principles. Even if they may not share her conservative views, Snow White is Snow White for a reason, and Rachel Zegler had to accept the repercussions of questioning a beloved fable. As we eagerly anticipate the release of one of the two Snow White remakes, which will likely mark the next episode in this ongoing saga. There is one thing that is certain. You will never feel the same about the tale of Snow White again. Will we meet the self-rescuing girl boss Snow White, who transforms the perception of Disney princesses in the eyes of a whole generation of young girls? Or will we see the beloved version that will leave us curious about what Rachel Zegler cut would have looked like? A growing controversy around Disney's upcoming Snow White remake, which has been stoked in part by remarks made to the media by Rachel Zegler, the lead actress. A contentious debate between Brett Cooper and Rachel Zegler is stirred up by the conflict between the conventional story and the contemporary interpretation. The well-known conservative media commentator, Brett Cooper plays a significant role in defending the classic fairy tale storyline against Rachel Zegler's suggested modifications. The tension escalates as Zegler advocates for a modern twist on the Snow White story, challenging conventional gender roles and the portrayal of romance in fairy tales. The discussion inspires contemplation on the changing representation of Disney princesses and the wider ramifications of story reworking as excitement for the Snow White remakes grows. In the end, the conversation asks listeners to comment on the current argument and select a side between storytelling innovation and tradition. We're eager to find out, but in the interim, what are your thoughts on this historic snowfall and who do you think will win? The conservative representative promising a timeless remake or the woke Hollywood princess questioning everything that makes the remake timeless? Please share your opinions in the comments section below.